the company already owes them 25,000 naira. This is money that even if they resign at that particular point in time, at the end of the month, they will be owed that money by the employer. So as you accrue the money, this is value that you cannot get access to until your salary is paid. So end-wage access basically releases the value of up to 50% of what you accrued, so you can get access to it early to meet emergency financial situation. For example, instead of going to and use payday lending, which is very, very expensive. So end-wage access usually is 0% interest. You just pay a withdrawal fee that is called, or a transaction fee, as it is called. So that's simply what end-wage access is.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Okay, so how does MCOBOS, so we call it EWA, right? The short form is EWA. So instead of saying end-wage access, so we just say EWA. So how does MCOBO EWA differ from traditional payday loans?
Okay, so as I mentioned, so unlike a traditional payday loan where you can get access to the loan and or salary advance as they call it, and then you pay at the end of the month when your salary is paid. Yeah, you can only get access to it once, basically until you pay that money down. Hardly any lender will extend credit to you again, at least the same lender. They will not extend credit to you again until you pay that successfully. But with end-wage access, as you accrue your salary, you can continuously withdraw up to 50% of it. So after the example I gave earlier, so after week 1, you've accrued 25,000 naira, yeah? You can get access to, you want 10,000 naira out of that, you can actually access that 10,000 naira. Week 2, you've accrued another 25,000 naira. So that means you've accrued 50,000 naira in total. You've already taken 10,000 naira already. So you have 40,000 naira that you've not taken. You can ask, okay, I want 50% of that 40,000. You can withdraw another 20,000 naira. So as you have, because emergency may not come just once in a month. You know, it might be, God forbid, it might be a case of my mother is ill in the village, or some family person needs money in the village, or my car, something happened to my car, I need money to fix it. So it could be multiple times. So basically, end-wage access allows you to basically turn your monthly salary into weekly salary to make it easier to understand. So that's the key difference between the end-wage access and salary and payday lending. And also, another difference, which is also the cost of it. We know that, I mean, payday loans are quite expensive. Some charge as much as 30% and even higher in some cases. Meanwhile, end-wage access is interest-free. It's 0% interest. You pay a fee between 500 naira and 1,000 naira to access it anytime you access it, basically. So it's actually cheaper in the long run. So it doesn't keep you in the cycle of debt, basically. And it also, another key feature is that also it's money you've already worked for. You've earned it. Yeah, you've already worked for the money. So we are not lending you based on future earnings or whatever. You've actually worked for that money already. You've accrued it. So you're just getting access to what you've already worked for.
That's really great. Thank you very much for that. So how would we say that EWA contributes to improving employees' financial well-being?
Okay, so the first thing is in terms of financial well-being. So if you imagine that you have, why do you worry about money? It's a case of that I have an emergency, I have a financial needs, and I can't meet that financial needs. I don't have the money. And even though I'm working, I have a salary that I need to pay at the end of the month. Especially in this day where all over the world there's the living wage crisis, cost of living crisis as it's called. So a lot of people are struggling financially. So to have a way or a way that you can get access to your salary early, if or any time that you have any financial emergency, it will make you feel a bit of comfort. You feel a bit more relaxed, you know, so which means that you will not worry as much as, well, am I going to get transport money to go to work tomorrow? Because as soon as they paid my salary, within a week, all the money has gone because I paid bills, I've done this and everything. And to the end of the month again, I'm not going to get any money. So people worry about money. It's a real thing. I mean, people, there's a lot of awareness about mental illness now, but mental well-being. But there's very, very little awareness about financial well-being and financial illness, because people, if you worry about money, it affects you mentally. You know, so they're very, very much linked. So it's one of the things that end-wage access helps with, because once you know that there's that avenue that if I have any issues, if there's any problem, I can get quick access to money, then it can help you dramatically. It can actually help.
Thank you.
So I think that's the key. That's the key way. That's one of the key ways. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So can you share with us any statistics or case study demonstrating the impact of EWA on employee financial health?
Okay, so in Nigeria today, we're actually about to commission one for this year. But the statistics that we usually is the one that was conducted by Visa in the US, because NWH Access as a product actually emanated from the US and became very, very popular during COVID. And over that period, they surveyed some employees that have gotten access to EWA, and 92% of them actually confirmed that having access to EWA actually improved their financial well-being. It improved their productivity at work, and and also reduces illness and people calling in sick as well at work. Because what you find is that a lot of people calling sick for one, I need to go to work, but I don't have transport money, and nobody is willing to borrow me money. What will you do? You can't go to work. You must give an excuse. So people call in sick, even though you're not sick. Yeah, but it might be financial sickness. You understand? So, and also apart from just the employee, it also impacts the employer as well, because the less people that have financial illness, as we call it, yeah, and they can get access to this product, the people will be more productive because I'm at work, I'm focused on the work I'm trying to do, I'll be productive. But if I'm worrying about something, I will be absent-minded and I'll not be concentrating on the work I'm meant to be doing. So again, it helps not just the employee, because if the employee is the same thing as mental well-being, which some companies are actually implementing and ensuring that their staff are mentally sound and they don't have any issues, no stress, they're not depressed and things like that, because they understand the need that for an employee to be productive, employees' mental well-being and their state of mind has to be sound, so that they're not worrying. And it's the same thing with the financial, because if the financial affect them, like I said earlier, it does impact on the mental mental well-being. So I think they're very, very much interlinked. So yeah, statistics does show that yes, it does improve employee productivity. It helps them improve their well-being as well, and it makes them more and retention as well. Yeah, it helps with retention because they see an employer that cares, and they are more willing to stay because the next employer may not offer this benefits to the employees as well.
Okay, thank you so much for that. That was really insightful. So let's say the companies that they want to implement EWA for their employees. How do they go about it?
Okay, it's very, very simple. So they can, sorry, I didn't get that.
I said, what steps would they take to implement EWA in the company for their employees here?
Yeah, very simple. So if they want to access EWA through MCOBO, they can simply go to the website, and there's a form on the website. So mcobo.bank. There's a under employers. There's a form they can fill there. Once they fill the form, one of our team will get in touch with them, and then basically we'll do a demo for them so they understand how it works, and then we onboard them onto the portal. And once we onboarded the company onto our portal, then basically onboarding means that they basically put all their employee details in, the salary that they earn, because it's basically into the salary. So we don't want to you can't get access to more than what you earn, basically. So they put all the details in, and then the employees are then invited to download the app. And then once they download the app, they onboard on the app, and then they can basically start getting access to early pay. So our EWA product is actually called early pay, as was said, because you're getting early access to your pay, to your salary that you earn, and then they can get access to. And apart from just early pay, so the mCOBO app is actually a full digital bank. So you can get your salary. You have an account, a CBN approved account with an account number, so you can actually get your salary paid into the account. You can buy airtime. You can do basically what you can do on any digital mobile app, basically digital bank mobile app, basically. So that's the simple step. So when a business partner or a company is interested to actually completing and onboarding all the stuff, it doesn't take more than a week basically to get that done. So they can start enjoying the benefits almost immediately.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So how the adoption of EWA among businesses in Nigeria, how has it been so far?
It's not. I mean, with Nigerians, so anytime you mention anything to do with employees getting access to, because they look at it as a loan, even though it's not a loan, they're getting access to what they need. So businesses that are forward thinking and really care about their employees, they adopt it very, very easily because they see the benefit and they care about retention. They care about the employees' financial well-being and mental well-being as well. So businesses that are forward thinking, we found that it's actually quite easy. And that goes with a lot of tech companies, some corporates. We have some corporates that we work with as well. But some other businesses are not really that interested. It's like, no, we don't want to get involved. Basically, they don't want to get involved in that process. It's the same thing when you're doing salary advance. They say, no, we don't want to be responsible for that. So it's a case of, it's more a case of education and understanding. And also, I think the key driver of this, and that's why we are speaking via your platform, HR Expert. The key driver of this is the HR function, because they are meant to be looking after the well-being of the employees. So if the HR function believe that they really truly care about ensuring that their employees that they look after are financially sound, and their financial well-being is well looked after, so that they can be more productive. It's one of the things that can actually help them achieve their objective, which is basically retention, which is a key KPI for HR professionals. So I believe more companies need to adopt it. It's still not where it needs to be, because I mean, EWA as a product is still relatively new in Nigeria. It's relatively new in Nigeria because it came from it started in the US, and it's now basically, I mean, everywhere you look in the world now, it's now actually there are businesses or there are companies like Empower that are offering EWA. But I believe over time, and as more awareness grows, I believe that more and more companies will start adopting it basically. But it can start with the HR Expo Africa's base, basically to do that awareness to people, and that's why we are speaking here today.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So I would also like to know, how does EWA compare with other financial products, like let's say salary loans products? How does EWA compare to all of those other ones, and what makes them different? Yeah.
Yeah. So it can be complementary in a way, because salary loan can be a longer term loan. So if you imagine, depends on what you want to use the money for. So if I want to, I mean, one of the things that people borrow money for in Nigeria today is to, let's say, to pay rent. It's actually quite a popular thing, yeah. And to pay rent, let's say your rent is 1 million. Just picking average. Someone that lives on the island, or even in Yaba today, where our office is, you want like a 1-bedroom or 1-bedroom flat, you're gonna be paying close to 1 million naira. Yeah, EWA is not for that. That's what your salary loan or salary advance is for, which is basically a longer tenure, which might be 6 months. So EWA is basically that you have a quick, short emergency. Like I need a quick 10K, I need a quick 50K to meet an urgent need. Maybe I need some money to my mom in the village. I need some money to my I need to I don't have transport money. I spent all my money because something happened. I need to quickly do that. That's what EWA is for. So they basically address different needs, basically. So they can be complementary. So EWA does not stop your longer term loans that you need to get. It can be complementary to it that when you have a short term thing. And because EWA is almost instant, because right now the HR is actually involved in approving, because again, we don't want people to be accessing something that they don't need. So we want to give the control, at least for now, to the HR, so to ensure that they are monitoring what people are taking and stuff like that. Because some HR, I mean, when we did the initial pilot, some HR, that was the feedback we got, that they want to be the one approving it, so that they ensure that if the person doesn't work, they're not approving something that it cannot be paid from the salary at the end of the month. So so they can be complementary. But for the example I gave earlier in terms of comparison with a payday loan, which is similar to an emergency, because payday loan is usually you pay it off at the end of the month. And most payday lenders do not do more than maybe like 50K or 100K. So most of them are even 10K. Yeah. So it's in comparison with that payday lending, the difference is that one is cheaper and you can access multiple times. So if you have multiple emergencies in a month, EY is going to be better for you and it's going to be cheaper in the long run, basically.
Okay, that is good. Thank you so much for that. So I'm sure everyone would like to know, what are the key benefits for employers who offer EWA to their employees?
So the key, what I mean, one thing that a lot of businesses struggle with today is retention. Yeah. So one of the key things that EWA can do is if introduced and run and managed properly, and adoption within the employee is high, you will find out that it basically helps with retaining staff, because I mean it's the benefits and employee benefits. Yeah, it's the same thing as HMO. I mean, some people offer HMO because your competitor does not offer HMO, especially when you're a small business. Your competitor does not offer HMO. And someone that cares, that has a family, and you know in Nigeria today, if you have a child, they might get sick and whatever. So it's cheaper for you if there's HMO. You know, so it's similar to that benefit, that is sold as a benefit and it's part of the package that, oh, you will have access to this if you are our employee. So it can help with retention and it can help differentiate you from your competitor as one of the key benefits. The other benefit is that if an employee is not worrying about money problem because they have an avenue where they can access quick funds that they've already accrued or they've already earned when they need it, they won't be worrying too much about money. Yeah. So again, they'll be more productive because they're worrying less about where am I going to get money from, or calling in sick. Yeah, because if I don't come to the office, that's one day that I've not been productive at the end of the day. So productivity will also increase, and it's been found that productivity increased about 65% with NWH access being introduced. And apart from that, the other thing that it helps, of course, it reduces absenteeism, which is people calling in sick, people playing trans because they can't come to office or they're worrying about money. So these are key things that can actually benefit companies and will of course impact the bottom line. Because if you reduce absenteeism, you increase productivity, yeah, and then you increase retention. So you're saving money, because if your retention rate is high, you are constantly recruiting people and it's costing you money to do that and time. So this adds and helps improve the bottom line for the business. So at the end of the day, profit is going to be more.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much for that. So from the explanation you gave so far, I understand that EWA to the organization. So can you give us more insight on that, as well as on how can also help attract top talent and retain them?
Yes. So when you're doing your recruitment, and a talent is comparing your offer to another company's offer. So one of the key things you're going to be looking at, apart from the salary, let's say the salary is on par with each other. You want to hire somebody that's on 100K is the offer, and the competitor is offering them 100K as well. What are they going to be looking at? Apart from the company's brand, they're going to be then focused on, okay, what are the additional benefits? I mean, enough times that we've tried, we're hiring people and they're asking, what are the benefits? What are the, apart from salary, what else do you offer? So both companies offer HMO, both companies offer same paid holidays, both companies offer the same thing. The only difference is now that, okay, we offer EWA for you so that because we care about your financial well-being as well as your mental well-being. So we care about employees. That signals to the candidate that this company is actually caring. They care about their employees. So that can help you differentiate yourself from your competitor and attract that person, because you're offering something that they are not, because everything else is the same. Because HMO is regulatory when you have over a certain number of staff anyway, so you must offer it. Yeah, but EY is not mandatory. So only a company that's forward thinking and that cares about the employee will do that. So that signal to the talent, and that can help attract top talent. And also you can do the same thing with retention, because when they're going out there, as long as the other packages the other companies are offering is on par. I mean, salary is obviously a very, very important aspect, but not everybody focuses on salary. You know, you can grow within the company. Everything else is there. It's just that thing it's just an additional benefit that we put in place just to ensure that we can retain the talent.
Okay, that is really good. Thank you so much for that. I would also like to say that you can start putting in your questions in the chat box. I'm sure a lot of you have questions and you have so many questions that you would like to ask. So start putting in your questions in the chat box and we would answer it. Thank you. So yeah, I'd like to discuss the future of EWA in Nigeria. So what do you see the future of EWA in Nigeria's financial ecosystem? What do you see as
Left to me, what I as a future. The same way when payday lending came into Nigeria, I mean, hardly anybody was doing payday lending, and now it's a lot of people are aware of it. So what I see is the EWA being like a standard benefit that's been offered by every forward-thinking employer in Nigeria and across Africa as well, because I'm very passionate about it and the impact it can have on employees' financial well-being, because that's what we're all about. It's about helping to improve the financial well-being of employees or salary earners through various financial solutions that we offer, and EWA being one of the key things. And apart from EWA, I see EWA as just one step to actually getting improving financial wellness, I would call it. So it's removing somebody from needing to access your accrued salary early to actually being able to save money for emergencies. So you start with this. So it's like you're starting a process. First, give them access to when they have emergency, because MCOBO, as I said, is a suite of different products and services within the app. So it's to start them with this, and over a period of time, start coaching and giving them literacy on how to, even if you 1,000 naira that you are saving on a monthly basis, over a 12-month period, it becomes 12,000 naira. So it's going from that journey of EWA being the jumpstart or being the catalyst to help them get access to their salary early, and then helping them then improve their financial awareness through coaching them to then become savers. They can save, and they have a saving, they have an emergency saving that they can access. So they're not heavily reliant on just EWA alone.
Thank you so much for that. Okay. So I think we have a question here in the chat box from Damilola Amadu. So Damilola wants to know, how can these benefits be integrated into the existing payroll administration software used by an organization? Yeah, I think this is a very good question. Thank you, Damilola.
Yeah, thanks, Damilola, for that fantastic question. So right now, we have a portal that we use to manage this. But in the future, what we are planning to do is to look at the most popular payroll platform, or also to build an API that can then use to easily integrate into an existing payroll administration software. So that is in our roadmap and should be ready by the end of the year, basically, so we'll be able to do that. And also to make it even easier, because we realized that some of the employers that we are talking to, business that we are talking to, do not even have a payroll software. We actually in the process of completing a free payroll software that we're building, which we'll be offering for free to businesses that don't have an existing payroll. And this is already integrated into our EWA, basically our EWA products. So that's another thing that we are doing as well, because we have realized that some people don't even they use the Excel. And to make this seamless and make the experience even better, we've done that step further to actually build out on a payroll solution as well, which will be free, completely free. We don't pay for it.
Thank you so much for that wonderful question. If you have more questions, please put your questions in the chat.
Thank you. Sorry, thank you, Abi, for the talk. So I've got a couple of questions and maybe some observation. So for me is, how does EWA not encourage for financial habits in employee? So if I know that, as I said, I'm getting weekly pay, right? And so I can keep doing it every month. And at the end of the month, and then maybe I do have, as you said, I've taken another loan for my house rent, right? So at the end of the day, I might be left with just maybe less than 8% of my earnings, because I've taken 50% upfront of my earnings on EWA. And then I've gone ahead, because I then have an existing loan that I'm servicing. So how do you, is there something that we can do to mitigate against poor financial decisions in employees?
Yeah, that's a very, very good question. So in that instance, and that's why we involve the HR, because sometimes HR knows, because sometimes when somebody is getting a loan, they don't confidentially write to HR to find out if they're because they deduct a source most of the time, or if the employee works there. So that's why the HR is very, very much involved in this, to ensure that that does not happen as well. But from our end, what we also do is that we actually put the credit report as well and check that do they have existing loan that will ensure, that will mean that they're only taking 8% or 10% of their money on. So we check that. And based on that, we can also decline or not approve it. But the HR is very, very much involved in actually approving the request for withdrawal as well. So that's all. But as we evolve and we learn, because we are learning every day, as we evolve and we learn and we work with HR professionals as well, we can always make the product even better to suit how you want it to work within your organization, basically. So there are rules we can put in place to say, okay, I don't want 50%. I want it to be less because this, I know the habit, because everybody, you know the habit of your employees. You know what they are, what they are, how they operate. So we can actually work with you to make it work for your organization as well.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. That then leads me to my observational question. Is there a criteria for organizations to be a part of EWA, or everyone is? Because typically, if you look at the dimension, the business ecosystem within Nigeria, most organizations might not even have HR. Some, like the small SMEs, they don't even have an HR, so it might just be a one-man business with one person employs 5-6 people, and everybody doubles up as admin, HR, finance, and things like that. So, or they might not even have somebody who is dedicated to that function. I know we're HR Expo and we've tried to focus, but we also work with some SMEs and things like that. So is there a criteria to the kind of organizations that can come in? And even if there isn't, so how do you then marry those kind of one-man business, as we call it in Nigeria?
Okay, so right now the woman businesses are not the target market.
Right. Okay.
It's more to do with structured organizations. So there are some companies. I have friends that have maybe a business with 10 staff, and then either they have like a part-time HR or they have admin HR that, like you said, that they double up. So we can work organization like that, but it has to be structured, because what we want to ensure is that there's structure to it, because it's money, and at the end of the day, you know that there's more risk, because the company still has to pay that money from the staff salary at the end of the month, and with smaller businesses, we know that they like to owe salary, so again, in order to continuously serve people, because one thing you don't want to do is request for money and then there's no money to disburse, so we work with structured organizations, and usually the typical size is, we've done some 10, 20, but typical size that we target is about 50. Yeah, but we do have crime, because we do our own due diligence on the business as well. We just don't onboard everybody and anybody.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thanks for the question. Very interesting.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So are there any, I would like to ask also, are there any upcoming innovations or features MCOBA plan to introduce in EWA offering?
Yes. So in order to make a bigger impact, and part of the awareness drive and what we are currently working on is, we want to get to a position, and I think I failed to actually answer that when you said what's the future. We want to get to a position where every salary earner or every employee in Nigeria, that we can digitally verify their salary and their employment, should be able to get access to EWA, whether we work directly with the employer or not. So that's something that will be very, very key for us, and that'll make it more accessible to a much wider set of people, basically. So that's something that it's not actually been done, because usually the typical model for EY is that you work with a business partner, basically. So we are looking at how can we make more of an impact, and not necessarily have to work directly with the company, but actually give access directly to this employee. If we can digitally verify their salary, there are going to be some people that we cannot verify their salary digitally, because either they are not digitally, they don't have a smartphone, or we can't verify their bank account. So there are going to be cases like that. So of course, we still work with the business partner. So we are seeing how we can do that. And also the other thing we're trying to do, and what we find that some people do have smartphones, is then to introduce EWA via USSD as well, that they can actually get access to it easily via USSD and via WhatsApp as well. So we are looking at different channels. That is not just about the app, but once you're onboarded and you have an account with us, and we've onboarded your employer, and then you can either request via WhatsApp or you can request via USSD. So we make it again more accessible to a wider target market, best way.
Thank you so much. Okay, so we have a question from Tosin. So Tosin wants to know, for companies who are looking to leverage this solution, they will have to sign up access the portal and onboard their employees before the employees can access the EWA via the app? Okay, will they have to onboard and access the portal before the employees can have access to EWA?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that's correct. Because what we need to do is we need to tie those employees to the employer. Because if the employers does not upload, I mean, we do this, we work with companies, and we can take on this responsibility as well to help them upload all this information and help them set this up as well. So we work very closely with employees to do this so that to make it seamless. But yes, because we need to have a way to be able to tie the employees to the employer. So that's why that process has to be done, so that what then happens is that the employee will get a code, a unique code that for that particular employer, and then so that when they register on the app, it then basically ties them to that employer, so we know who the employers are.
Okay, Samuel Afan, thank you so much. So Samuel Afan wants to know, how are the fees charged? How are the fees charged? Yes.
Okay, so the fees is basically, so when the EY is disbursed into the MPOBO account, the fees is actually charged upfront. So if you request for, let's say, 20,000 naira or something like that, so the fee that is required will then be taken out of that. So the balance is what will be disbursed into the employee's account.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that. Matt NG, how does repayment work if the employers don't pay salaries through your application, through EWA?
Okay, so two ways. So either via mandate or direct deduction by the employer. So again, it depends on the preference of the employer. So employers, we found that some employers want to deduct it directly and then pay us in bulk, or we then set up a mandate on the employee's account. So three ways: they either have an account with MPOBO, and then the salary is paid to the MPOBO account, and then there's a mandate on that, and we deduct it as the salary is paid, or the employers can basically deduct our source. Because they don't want to ask the employees. I mean, most employees actually choose to actually move their salary account to MPOBO because it makes it easier. And if they do that, it's cheaper. The EWA fee is actually cheaper for them as well. Or if they are being paid to their deducted on salary date, or the employer can deduct it and then send it to us in bulk.
Okay, thank you so much for that insight. Okay, so we have another question from Fatima Oyebanji. So Fatima wants to know, what is the interest rate for EWA? I think that was mentioned earlier.
0%. There's no interest rate. So they just pay a fee, a withdrawal fee. So based on the amount, so it's from about 500 naira to 1,000 naira.
Okay, so you get that, Fatima. It's 0% interest rate. Okay, Solomon. Okay, Solomon is asking, are there investment opportunities offered through EWA platform? And could you provide some detail on the types of projects or business available for investing? And additionally, what are the criteria or process for evaluating and selecting these opportunities?
Yeah, we'll be here for like the next 15 minutes if I was to answer that. So Solomon, yeah, I mean, we offer investment. So we're a full service microfinance bank. So we have a product called Hyper Fixed Deposit, where you can open a fixed deposit account with us. That's not available through the app yet. So we do that directly. The form is actually on the website. You can fill the form and you can move the money to us, and then we open the account for you, and then you earn fantastic interest, up to 20% on the money that you fix with us. And then in terms of funding, again, we fund. So we do SME lending, and there are different, I mean, we have different criteria. So I couldn't go into those details. But if you're really interested, please, you can reach out to me, or you can go to the website and you can actually chat to one of the team members on there, or you can share your contact details. I can get someone to call you and actually talk you through the different products that we have.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Okay, so Matt wants to know, do you offer account statements for employees if they move their salary accounts to MPOBO?
Oh, yes, we do. Yes, we do. Okay. So you can actually download your statement from the app as well. So all your transactions will be there.
Okay, thank you. Adenike wants to know, if an employee moves to a different company, can they still have access to EWA, or their benefits are terminated at point of exit?
They are terminated because then they are no longer linked to that company. So when they move to another company, so we have to be in partnership with that company. Otherwise, they lose the benefit. So they get that benefit directly via the business, and that's what gives that business the competitive advantage, as we are saying, that you're offering this benefit. It aligns with HMO. So if an employee leaves your employment and they had HMO with you, when they move to another company, that company provides the HMO benefits to them. Yeah, so it's the same thing. So when they move, until we get to that point, when we where we can then provide access to any employee, no matter who your employer is, until that point, for now, yeah, they lose access to it.
Okay, so we have another question from Matt. Matt wants to know, what are the recovery strategies in cases default?
Yeah, we do. We're a full bank. We do proper KYC. So we have the employee, even if they leave your employment, we don't just let the money go. And there are cases where an employee can just wake up tomorrow and not come to work. But usually, and that's why end-wage access is money that you've already earned at the end of the day. So it's money that you've already earned. So the company will always have money that they need to pay you at the end of the day. So there's very, very minimal case of default. But if it does exist, we have a recovery team, because we have other loan products that we do that are a lot more risky than this. So we have a recovery team that they have their strategies and how they recover. So we follow up with the customer, we visit them. So we have all these things in place as well.
Okay, thank you. I would also like to ask a question. So what are the most common questions or concerns that employees or employer have about EWA, in the process of joining the program? What are their concerns and questions that they usually have, and how do you navigate that?
Okay, so I think one of the concerns, and I think it goes to people that want longer term loans. For example, now, like you mentioned, the salary advance, which is basically like a 6 months loan or 3 months loan and stuff like that. And not just necessarily just address the immediate need that people have, because yes, people have different needs, like there is for different people. So that's one of the feedback that we've had. That okay, what if I need to pay my child's school fees? What if I need to do I need to pay my rent, or what if I need to fix my car? And EY, because EMA is a small amount of money for some people. And it's really targeted at low income salary earners. Yeah, low income salary earners, because they have the most need for this. So one of the things that we are looking at doing in the future is, obviously we have a product which is not yet on the app, is emergency loan, which is basically more like a salary advance, so that we can address, if you need EWA, you can have access to EWA. And then there's emergency loan, which is basically a salary advance, which again can be offered to the same partner, so that we are meeting the needs of the employee, depending on what they need. So that's one of the things that we get. And the other thing that people also have addressed, that sometimes, because then we are involving HR, is very, very much involved, is the HR, they're not using this as a tool to wield power, or to do favoritism, as well. So that's the other thing that people have been concerned about, that can we not do it without HR and just discuss directly? But most companies that we've gone to, the management or the client has been, okay, let's start with ensuring that HR is in control. And then when we are comfortable, because we have both options. HR can either be, because again, if I want something, I have an emergency at the weekend, on a Sunday or something like that, people are not at work. So HR is not at work. So you need to log on to the portal and you need to approve that withdrawal. So again, there are limitations to that. So those are some of the concerns that employees have had, and the employers, basically. But we give the flexibility where, if it's required, we can remove that restriction, where we can just disburse automatically, because we believe that our employees are responsible, and we believe that they will use it diligently.
Thank you so much for that. Okay, so in case of employees that have doubts and challenges, how can company address any potential challenges or resistance when introducing EWA to the company, to the staff?
So it's with any new product that people are not used to. I think it's a case of education and awareness and being able to address whatever questions that they have. And basically, I mean, having what's what let's say, having early adopters, let's say the people that have tested it initially, and that's what we found. So a company that we went to, 200 staff, we first onboarded the HR, we worked with the HR, we first onboarded like 20 of the staff first, let them test it. Yeah, and let them be the evangelists. So because you trust what you're, I used that product too, and I requested for 10K and I got it, HR approved and I got it meeting and it helped me. So when they get that, it encourages them. So even if you have that and you see real life and it's actually helping people, you find that over time, people are going to be more willing to try it. So that will help us get over that hurdle of people that don't believe, because sometimes people say that it's too good to be true, because that's the thing, Nigeria, I call it that there's a deficit of trust. But again, I mean, if it's coming from HR will have done their own review, their own due diligence, and it start with HR first testing it and make sure that I can access it and can say, I've tried it, I've tested it too. It works very, very well. And I can assure you that it works well, and they can try it. And then HR is also quick to ensure that they approve what needs to be approved on time, so that there's no delay. So those are the ways that we can create trust, and we can overcome the resistance if there's any.
Right, thank you so much for this wonderful session. So any more questions from the audience? If you have questions, put it in the chat box. Any more questions? Okay, so can we give a thumbs up if we are totally clear about what EWA is all about? Let's get a thumbs up. Okay, thank you, Solomon. Matt, Odunayo, thank you. Damilola, okay, great. Yeah, Ewa, Oguchi Ogugwe, sorry if I didn't pronounce that well. Saying Ewa is a solution. Yes, it is a solution. Great. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Abib, for this wonderful session and insights on EWA. Yes, Lawal says it is clear. Yes, okay.
So what are the next steps if people want to sign up? I know there's somebody in the chat, minding the chat from MCOBO. So maybe is there a contact email that you can share to, where can they find more information? Your LinkedIn page, Instagram, Facebook, emails that organizations can write to. Is it possible to have that shared in the chat?
Yes, Khadija, please, can you share all that information, please, so that people that want to reach out, they can reach out to us.
Oh, somebody wanted you to have done a demo of the app.
Oh, okay. We didn't come to do the.
We didn't come
So
to maybe we could have a demo session
follow-up.
for time.
Yes. Yeah, that'll be a good one, actually.
Okay, somebody's asked a question again, but I think Abib did answer that question. Somebody's asking how they can integrate into a payroll solution like SAP. So they said they're working on it.
Yeah, we're working on integration. So in terms of APIs that we can use to basically integrate into payroll solution.
And somebody said at least transportation won't be a problem.
and that's one of the key reasons that people actually access EWA. It's because and we noticed that because from when we started MCOBO, our target has always been employees. Even the emergency note that we do was targeted at employees, low income salary earners, because we see that they have, they are economically active, but because they're not getting paid enough, they live from hand to mouth, and by week 1 or week 2, they've more or less finished their salary. So they have to be borrowing from people, borrowing from loan sharks, or borrowing from family, and borrowing from colleagues. I know some HR here, they know, and you guys lend money to some of your staff, that can't control because we want to encourage them. You have to come over. You have to come over. You borrow them 10K here, 10K there. You understand? Just to encourage them to come to us. So this will remove all that headache. I mean, what we are trying to do is help HR professionals remove that headache of having people complain about money all the time, that I can't do work, I can't do this. So we want to take that off your head and help you put a solution to it so that you are not worrying about that.
Right.
Thank you.
I think that's pretty much it. Just a session. Abib, I DM'd you. I sent you a message to you on here. If you just check your message.
Okay.
Okay, Titi, I think if you don't have any more questions, we can close the
Okay, so we have one question here from Adenike. Would you be willing to work with government agencies and parastatals?
Oh, yes. We are actually talking to so yes, we are definitely looking at working with government, because we see civil servants as a good market where they also have the needs as well, and would like to impact and help as well. So yeah, definitely.
Right.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this wonderful session. And I'm sure everyone now, most people don't know about this, and they're now very aware of it, which is a very good thing. And
it's completely clear, because there's no interest charge. It's not like a loan, so you're not, it's what you've spent. So I think it's a completely different concept to what's obtainable in the market. So I think it's the clarification is good.
Yes, thank you so much, and thank you to all the audience for participating in this. And we hope you take the next step in joining EWA, introducing it to other companies as well. It's a very good program. And we hope to see you all in our next session next month. We'll be sharing more insights on that in your respective mails. Yes, and we also have the details to join EWA in the chat box, the email, and the number to call to access EWA. So you can always copy that to reach out to them later.
Thank you very much, HREA.
Thank you so much for this wonderful session.
Yeah, and thank you very much for basically putting this webinar together. And thank you everybody for your questions and for attending. We can do this again. It's been a very, very wonderful session. And even me, I've learned more.
Sir, we also have a mobile app, so they can also download the mobile app.
Yeah, I can put a link there as well.
Okay.
But they can't download the mobile app unless the organization is on there, isn't it?
You can, apart from EWA,
we have other products that they can.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So you can.
Okay,
yeah,
please put the link on there so that this. With the current situation of Nigeria, people need those upfronts. It's very critical.
Everybody needs it. Yeah, I think it's yeah, the country is tough. So
close the call, Titi, so that she can drop the link and people can access that link. Yes. But thank you so much, MCOBO team, Abib and team. Your insights was very.
Okay, so the link is in the chat box. To download MCOBO on Play Store, Apple Store.
Okay.
This is just Play Store.
I think somebody's just turned on his camera. Did you want to share something? Oh, he didn't react. You're muted. We can't hear you.
Okay, I think you can't. Yes.
I appreciate the organizer of this webinar, this section, and I was the one posting that I would have loved him to do a PowerPoint presentation. It would have really, been very more valuable. But there are a lot of key takeaways, and I'm sure even myself I'm going to reach out to them.
Thank you.
Yeah, please reach out. We can actually do the presentation and even demo. When you reach out, we can do that with you. So that's not a problem at all.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So much.
All right, thank you. So the link to the download has been dropped in chat box for Play Store and then for App Store as well. So you can always download and then also go on the website to know more about the company. And then there's a number you can call, and then the care center, help center that you can email as well.
Again, there's social
So
media
you can
as well.
also reach out to social media as well at mkobo bank.
And I'll put the link directly to the EWA page on the website as well to make it easier.
Okay.
To actually find a product for
Okay.
the business partners.
Okay.
Okay. So everyone gotten access to all of the links in the chat box so that we know that we are clear. Okay. All right, thank you all so much. Thank you so much for this session. Thank you. And thank you all to all our audience for joining this session. And we hope to see you in our next session next month. We are all looking forward to that. It's going to be amazing as usual. So have a lovely day and see you all next month. Bye.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.